22 years had come and gone, and now I was counting down the final days. The weight of it all felt heavier than when I'd first walked through those steel doors. I was no longer the jaded kid blinded by addiction and regret. The years had carved lines into my face, and each one told a story I wished I could forget. The world had moved on without me. Time had sculpted the faces I once knew into weathered visages of disappointment. It had reshaped the city and buried the two men who had sealed my fate. James and Marcus, my so-called mates, were long dead. They wrapped themselves around a tree with enough drink in their blood to run the car they nicked. I'd heard the news from a passing guard, a rare scrap of information from the outside world. I'd sat on my bunk that night, staring at the wall, trying to feel something. Anger, sadness, relief, satisfaction even, but none of it came, just emptiness. Their deaths had sealed my silence, locked the truth in a vault I could never open. The chaplain offered me peace in the idea that they'd be heading somewhere. Lila wasn't, but I've never been lucky enough to be burdened by faith. I always believed that one day I'd confront them, force them to face what they'd done, make them take their share of the guilt I'd carried for so long. But now they were gone, nothing but fading faces in my sleepless mind. I never stopped hating myself for protecting them, for letting loyalty and ego keep me silent. It had been easier to swallow the blame than to expose the truth back then. But now, staring down the end of my sentence, I could feel the bitterness rise in my throat. 22 years of my life gone, and for what? For two blokes who hadn't even had the decency to live long enough to laugh in my face about it. The years are gone, but the chains remain. A life that's ruled by guilt and pain. The truth I carry, a silent plea, but the world still sees the worst of me. They're gone, injustice died with them. No chance to make it right again. A ghost of freedom and wasted plans. I came in as a boy and I'll be leaving a man. The prison had become my world, the walls a grim reminder of the choices I'd made. The pills had stolen too much from me, but I knew one thing, I hadn't killed her. That truth was my anchor, the only thing that kept me from sinking completely, and yet, it had never been enough. Now the warden was handing me my release papers. His face a mask of indifference, but I still couldn't help seeing a lingering doubt in the back of his eyes. Or maybe that was just my own feeling showing up in my reflection. You're a free man tomorrow, Ian, he said, as if freedom was a gift and not another way to carry. What kind of a man am I gonna be when all my work skills consist of bumping rocks and forging scripts? If trying your hardest to see the bottom of a pill bottle was a career, I already took that job as far as it can go. The world is a scary place outside of our cages. I'll always seek the satisfaction in self-loathing. As I stared at the paper I held tightly in my hands, I couldn't think of anything worse than being myself again. Gates will open, but the scars remain. A broken soul bound to its pain. Freedom's the weight I'm not ready to bear. The world out there feels cold and unfair. Who am I now with the past so near? A man chasing shadows, consumed by fear. The truth's still out there, I'll make it mine. This isn't the end, just the start of the climb.